Hey friends, welcome back. You are watching day 9 of our 13 Days of Halloween series here at Polly's Paper Studio. Now, if you're just getting started, you can find links at the top of the description for the first 8 days so you can get caught up. And for today's project, we are going to be creating the much anticipated, highly requested treat boxes. Now, in the past, I would strive to create boxes that were even bigger than previous years because my idea was to fit more candy and treats into them. For this year, I'm going to switch it up a little, and I found a die to create a fun little gable box. And now I can duplicate this fun pattern and make lots of smaller treat containers, and I can give them to more people and spread a lot more Halloween joy. So stick with me and we will make these together. For today's project, we're going to be using this spooky collection from Pebbles, and I've got the 6x8 paper pad. You could also use the 6x6. You just want to pick a pad that has a smaller condensed version of those fun patterns because we're going to be cutting them pretty small. I've also got this die, and I picked this up from Amazon. I wasn't really exactly sure what size of project it was going to make because they give you the measurement for the package. And so when it showed up, I went ahead and created a little sample with just some scrap paper, and although it is small, it actually works really well for my purpose today. And so what you want to do is take this portion and cut two, and that would be both the size of the box. I chose to cut mine from solid colored cardstock and then layer my patterns on. And then I'm also going to be utilizing a few of the elements that came in the set. And so there's a square that you can use to cut out the square portions. I decided to cut mine just with my guillotine cutter because I wanted all of my sides to match. So that went a little bit faster just to go ahead and cut those. But I did use the door here in this 4-pane window. There's also a scalloped edge. And so for the purpose that this would be a gingerbread house, obviously you need a gingerbread man and a tree. And so there's a few elements here that will make it more practical so that you could use it for different holidays. You could also put hearts on it or some St. Patrick's Day. I don't know. Do you give treats for that? You probably should, because that would be nice. Anyway, I'm using a few of the elements in here, and I just put them on this little magnet sheet, and very good chance I'll probably lose all of them. But anyway, I'm going to work with this today. And so like I said, I'm cutting the cardstock with it. I have 2 portions set here, and what I want to do is cover them with my pattern paper. Can you see that's the tiniest little candy corn? It's so sweet. I also have a border of the black cardstock around just so that it would have a nice layering effect. And so what I want to do is bring in this little piece of die cut grass, and I just use the slimline die that I had and cut out a long row of them, and then I'm going to add them here and then remove the excess. That way I know these are going to be at just the right height all the way around the box. It's easier to add this now so you can clip off the excess. I'm just going to put that on with a little bit of Tombow because there isn't a lot of space there for the paper tape to be added. So I'll just go ahead and press that for a second so it will set up, then come in and cut the excess off of the sides and add it to the square. So I'm just going to center this as best I can. There's not a whole lot of room here to work in, so if you get it off by a little, it won't be quite so noticeable. Then I've already prepared the portion for this side. You don't have to match all the papers all the way around, and also you could really dip into your scraps for this because these little portions are so small. It wouldn't take much to cover your box. And so here's the same thing on this square. Now another thing I want to add while it is flat on the table before I assemble it are my little scalloped edges. And so I think because I cut this with glitter paper, it would be better if I used a little bit of that Tombow to adhere them. And they fit all the way across, so you can get these lined up pretty. And then just press that for a bit while the glue sets up. So I'm just going to alternate the black and the orange glitter paper, but you put on whatever variation that you like. Okay, once you've got all of your pieces on and the glue has set up, you just want to come in and go ahead and fold on those score lines. And I have prepared the other side as well. So these are just the same. And so because this is a box that will be filled with treats, you want to make sure you're using a good wet adhesive on the sides so that it will stay very secure. These are pretty easy to line up. Just press it in by the score line on the left and then line the ones up on the top and the bottom. Make sure to press that long enough so that you get a good contact. Then you can come in and add your glue to the other side and then just fold that over. That's pretty easy. And then press that again. Okay, so now you're going to be folding in a portion of this so that you can complete the bottom of the box. And I thought it would be easier just to cut another portion of that and line that up on the bottom so that we can seal that bottom portion up. Go ahead and put your adhesive down in there and press down so that you can get a good contact for the bottom of your box to seal that up. Now what you want to do is choose some of those fun die cut elements to add. And so this is a spooky haunted house. I need a door and a window. I cut mine from gold cardstock, and then this one I cut a second one and then cut out the center portion so I can add that as a layering element. And the window I just added to white paper and cut it back out so that it wouldn't have the pattern paper showing through. I'm just going to add that to the front, also the door. So here is our haunted house. So the finished size of these are about 2 inches square. And so you think, well, that's pretty small. What am I going to fit in there? You want to think about treats because this is a treat holder. And so I was able to put 8 of these Reese cups in. I was also able to add these little Kit Kats. So basically all the little wrapped candies, you want to make sure that they're pre-wrapped because I don't know if scrapbook paper is food safe, but you can tuck all those in there and clip the sides again. So that's a pretty generous treat there. And I think if you are going to boo someone, which is just a way of leaving someone a sneaky little surprise treat, and that is an actual thing, not just something I made up. You would probably also consider other things besides candy. And so you can fit a coffee pod down in there too. Now, if you worked in an office or something where you have lots of coworkers, this would be a nice way to give a treat and not worry so much that you're giving someone candy that they don't want to eat. I also thought if you have a crafter friend, you could put some really fun washi tape rolls down in there. Those fit perfectly. These happen to be holiday, so that would be another thing to consider is if you're, planning this for a seasonal thing. And then I also found this little teeny bag of pistachios, and there is some room to fold this up here and fit that down in, and that actually was going to fit just perfectly. So here is another way to give a treat that's not necessarily key. Okay, so here's one that we just finished, and I did prepare a few others in advance so that I could show you. This is the same basic design, but instead of grass on the bottom, I put a tinsel trim, which is a very festive. And then I did switch out the colorways just a little bit so you can see that the box has the black on it as well. Okay, so here's another one, and instead of using the die cuts that are provided in the set, I went ahead and I just finished it with a striped paper and then added the scallop at the bottom here and at the top instead of as a roof line. And so I think that is pretty nice looking next to that bold graphic stripe. And instead of the door and window, I added a flower. And so this was the Rosie's poinsettia that I picked up from the Frank Garcia studio. I was hoping to like this flower a lot more than I wound up liking it because there's no holes to put your pokey tool through to get it back out. So that was a little bit of a struggle, but I think it looks cute. And so I put one on either side, front and back. So this is just maybe a little bit more of a mature treat box and not quite so young at heart. And so here are the 3 that I created today. Okay, so that's all for our Halloween treat holders for day 9 of our 13 Days of Halloween series. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you come back tomorrow for day 10. And now for the question of the day. If you pass out candy for Halloween, how many trick-or-treaters do you expect to have at your home? I can say for our house, we get 0 because we live in the country and it's too far to walk, and so we don't get any trick-or-treaters. So let me know in the comments how many you are expecting. Don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up for this video. And remember, you can find links to all the social media sites in the description below. And as always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.